This is episode number 20 of Riff Tacos. My name is Paul Misko, and I'm stoked we made it. Quick reminder before we get started, follow the show on your podcast platform of choice. Hit the like button, leave a comment, leave a rating, please. That would mean a lot to me. That would probably mean the most to me, honestly. Share it with a friend, and please head over to the brand new Riff Tacos website at rifftacos.com. Basically, just to sign up for the email list for now. I promise I won't spam you with bullshit, but you'll be the first to know about cool happenings and updates with Riff Tacos podcast, as well as the brand as a whole. I have like a bunch of ideas of how I'd like to grow this over time, but it would mean a lot if you sign up for the email list. And yeah, tonight I'm stoked. I have another good longtime friend coming on. Her name is Heidi Weber. She's the drummer of Los Angeles-based band Manager of Editorial, signed to Carte Records. They describe themselves as dreamy post-punk. Their music's really killer. You can find it on all the streaming platforms, Bandcamp, etc. And check out their music video for the song Never Say Forever. That's on YouTube and Apple Music and all that too. Really cool band, really cool sound. She's also a senior producer at Apple Music, managing live streaming events. Was a senior producer at Apple, managing live stream events, and is now the manager of editorial production. So she leads the team for all Apple Music live streaming events, like doing huge things like the Super Bowl. And I know she's worked on a ton of cool stuff. So I'm stoked to actually learn more about her job, because I just basically know surface level kind of what she does. I thought she'd be a great guest to have on. We've known each other since middle school, I think, and really didn't become close friends until high school. But she has great taste in music. She plays multiple instruments, and just always a blast to hang out with and be around. Yeah, let's get started. This is Riff Tacos with Heidi Weber. Thank you for doing this.
Yeah, of course.
I know you just got off work and like came home and had to hop right on. So,
well, anything for you, Paul. I just feel like, you have a podcast. I'm gonna fucking be on it.
Well, thank you very much. I love that room you're in, by the way. Which are you in your house out in the desert, or where are you?
This is my house in LA, and I got all my guitars on the wall. That's a Beatles spinning lamp that I've had since I was probably 10.
I was going to ask what it is. It's hard to see on the video.
Yeah, it's my dad actually brought in a suitcase for me, but it's a yellow submarine, and it has like 3 different layers and just like spins around. It's very cool.
Oh, that's cool.
But this is my garage. It's where I work. It's where I play video games, play my guitars, those kinds of things.
How long have you been in that house?
3 years. 3 years, yeah. We got in here in 2022.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, we've had so much history, and like I was trying to think of like all the different memories of like Kent State and high school and like everything, and I thought of something funny. Do you remember when I punched a hole in the wall at our place in Kent when the cops came to that party? Because yes. I was mad at you, I think. Because
what did I do?
Well, it was like I think what my mind frame was, or my mindset was like, I think you had the party that night and the cops came, but then when I ran and hid, he thought, he was like, of course it's got to be that guy who like ran up the stairs, you know. So he like sent you up to get me. He's like, go get that guy, and you came up to my room and you were like, he wants to talk to you. I don't know like what to do. So I was like, fuck. So I came down and he like gave me the citation. So I was like, damn it. I didn't even have the party tonight. So I ran upstairs and like punched a hole in the wall. Only time I've ever done that.
Wait, I'm sorry. I don't even remember. Like, of course I don't remember that.
Yeah, it's totally all good. I got over it instantly because I was also drinking and partying with you guys. I was just like, why did I get the citation? So I didn't even have to do anything. It was like a fine or something.
Who was at this party? I'm like,
oh, who fucking knows?
I'm sure I paid it. I'm sure I didn't make you pay it.
No, I don't. I mean, my mom probably paid it. I don't even remember. But
what?
I never wanted to make a big deal out of it. It just popped in my head when I was thinking of like stories to tell and things that happened. And I was like, oh yeah, I punched a hole in the wall in our house. Or maybe it was my closet door. I can't remember, but
Closet door was also broken, so
yeah. But that house, we called it Hollywood,
yes.
and we both ended up living there, or at least you're close to it, I assume. But it's just crazy. Like now we're like 40 years old. You know, you're living out there. I'm back in Ohio playing it from a second story window, and now we're on my podcast, which I never thought I would have.
Definitely never thought you'd move back to Ohio, but for a good cause, obviously.
Yeah.
But you were one of the people that was hell bent on like, I gotta get the fuck out of this place. I'm never coming back,
Yes.
and fuck the people here and all that. But
Yeah. I had to, and I'm glad I did it, and it was the best thing I ever did. Like after the
yeah,
band, I really had a great time in LA. I do miss parts of it. I wouldn't live there again, I don't think, unless I had like a reason to, like a job or something, probably. But Texas was really cool, and now being back here, like we talked about it when you were home, like it's being older, you can enjoy all the things you hated about it now,
yeah.
and it's chill. And I'm 5 minutes from practice, and it's cool.
Definitely, when I'm done with my time in LA, I will probably never come back to live. It's fun. There's a lot of stuff to do. There's anything that you want to do, it's here. But
Yeah.
the older I get, the less I want to do.
Yeah, exactly. Your priorities change, and you don't need to be like near the city all the time to go out and do things. And you like being at home, and like, I don't know. What do you miss most about Ohio?
I feel like it's just a slower pace of living. I miss my family. I miss the seasons.
Yeah.
Obviously, my family won't be there forever, but that's more reason to be there. I'm there all the time, basically, 4 or 5 times a year. So, um, but also just like the land you can have. Like my aunt has a lake house that you can just take your boat on and swim. And I go there every 4th of July because, like, why wouldn't I? Yeah.
Which lake is she on?
Berlin Lake. It's
Where is
like
that?
an outlet of Lake of Milton.
Okay. Gotcha. Yeah, I never experienced so many things here because I was like a kid, and then like my family was pretty boring. We didn't like do much. Never did
Yeah.
lake stuff and whatever. And so now I'm coming back, and like I went up to Geneva by myself last summer and had a blast. And I was like,
Yeah.
I don't even really remember this place if I've ever been here. And it's beautiful, and there's all these fun bars, and there was like bands playing outside. I was like, this is not what the Ohio I remember.
That's where I had my 40th birthday. Was in Geneva because
I know. I'm so mad I missed it.
that's
That's
where I
when our
wanted to
whole
be.
band was sick.
Yeah, my dad, even my dad, oh, my own dad was sick, so he couldn't come either. But
Chris Abbey was in town the same week, and he wanted to hang out. And I was like, I can't. I'm fucking sick. I'm supposed to be in Geneva for her birthday party too. And he's like, oh fuck. But just got to hang out with them. We went to Holiday Bar, Chris and Haley. So
oh
that was
hell
fun.
yeah, I'm glad that you've enjoyed the holiday bar.
It's great. Now I
It's
go
the
there
best.
more than anywhere else if I want to go out now. Now Joe's big on it too. He's always like, you want to go to Holiday Bar and get wings? He loves it.
The wings are pretty solid. It's not as good as Little Wing, but it's pretty
Yeah,
solid. And I mean,
it's a close
those
second.
giant draft beers, and they're frosty every
Hmm.
time.
And the bartender, what's her name? She's really nice. Is it
Yes,
Katie? I can't
I don't
remember,
remember.
but she always remembers me by name. And I always like appreciate that with bartenders, and she's always cool as shit. And usually like I go in there by myself, but this time it was like a mini friend reunion. Like McKenna came out, Joe came out,
Aw.
Chris Haley. And then I was like, see, I do have friends. I'm not just some weirdo who comes here by myself. If you're a touring musician, you know how important it is to have reliable merchandise that represents your brand and keeps fans coming back for more. That's where Gorilla Joe Printing comes in. They specialize in high quality printing and custom merchandise made to make your fans feel like they are part of the experience. From t-shirts to patches and any unique memorabilia in between. Gorilla Joe Printing also helps forecast your inventory, whether you're on or off the road, so you never run out of stock or end up with too much. They even help bands manage their e-commerce stores, keeping your merch business running smoothly 24/7 so you can focus on what you do best, performing. For more info, check out gorillajoeprinting.com.
Well, she remembers me and Elizabeth, even though like our big day that we go is New Year's Eve, and I've come to confess to my mom that we do this, but like it's a lot getting ready for like the Christmas Eve. We have a big party,
Yeah.
And there's always something that we have to go to Giant Eagle for last minute. So, but if you go to the Elm Road Giant Eagle, Holiday Bar is right there. So we
Yeah.
go get the last thing, we wait in the lines, it's stressful, and then we're like, we have deserved a beer at Holiday Bar. So she knows that we're from LA and that we're only there for the holidays. She remembers every year. She's like, "Oh, you guys are back from LA." And I was like, "Yeah."
Yeah.
She remembers.
When I do stressful things, I need a treat as well. Glad he always says
Yeah,
that. When
why
she
not?
tried to get me to go run errands, she's like, "We can stop and get a coffee or Starbucks or something." Like just like I'm a little kid, like trying to get me to go. I'm like, okay, that sounds good. I'll do that.
I need that
Uh,
too because I don't even like going to the store at all.
yeah. What do you hate most about living in LA now?
What do I hate? Obviously the traffic is bad, but like I can walk to work. My work is really close. I kind of set it up that way.
Yeah.
Um, I also wanted to live near the train, so I live near the train. Really, the only time that like I'm stuck in traffic is going to band practice, and it's only one way. It takes me an hour to get to the east side one way, and then on my way home, it takes 15 minutes. So it's
Of
just I have
course.
to suck it up for that like 45 minutes to an hour, knowing that on the way back it's 15 minutes, and
Yeah.
it's for band practice. Obviously, it needs to happen.
Yeah. And I lucked out when I lived there. I lived in Hollywood and I worked in the Valley. So the traffic was always opposite of when I was leaving. I was leaving
Yeah,
LA and then coming back the opposite way. So like I always had like a 15-minute, 20-minute drive and completely never had to do the LA traffic thing.
yeah. If
Lucky
you
as
plan it
fuck.
right, yeah, that's the opposite. People would usually be coming. Yeah, yeah, that
Hmm.
was lucky.
I worked in Sherman
Um,
Oaks.
if you plan it right, that's why I always say people are always so mad about the traffic. But if you plan it right and you just get in the mindset, well, this is going to take me this amount of time. You
Yeah.
just it's you can plan it and it's better.
Yeah. And
But I mean, things that I hate, I just can't. Well, the traffic is really the only thing to hate. The weather is great. Um,
yeah.
I feel like there's just so much more things to do than in San Francisco. San Francisco was so small. I feel like I couldn't leave my door to get coffee without seeing somebody that I knew. In LA, I'm just like another person and I don't have to
Yeah.
worry about that. Also, there's so many different kinds of people to meet.
Right.
Um it's just endless possibilities in all the different ways just because it's so big.
Right. I've been to San Francisco a handful of times and I never felt like I would want to live here. It was fun. I went to see Metallica once. I can't remember the other times I was there, but I was just like, yeah, I don't feel it, and it's so goddamn expensive too. Like,
Yeah. Yeah. It was it can be very clicky as well. Just the little groups of people.
right,
Um it's hard if you don't have already have friends. I could see how it would be hard to make friends. So it was a good transition for me. And I feel like if I leave here, I'm obviously coming back to Ohio.
yeah, yeah. Like if you're gonna leave a big city and go to like a cheap place with like seasons and and your family's like it just where else would you go? Like
Yeah.
I think about like, oh, Montana would be beautiful or something like that, but I'm like, I don't need all that shit. And now it's like it's overrun with people and it's expensive there too, in like the cities. But here is always going to be cheap. It hasn't changed barely at all. You can buy land
Barely.
for nothing. The summer and fall is gorgeous. This winter sucked though. I don't know if you're aware of how bad it
Is it?
sucked,
It's
but
still snowing, isn't it?
it's sprinkled the other day, but it's still like just rainy and like 45.
That's
Uh,
pretty. I feel like usually by the time April comes around, we're starting to make a turn, but it sounds like it drug on this year for a while.
It did. And the winter, I was told when I moved back, like all the band dudes were like, oh, the winters have been so mild now. Like it barely
They
snows.
were.
Like it gets cold. And I'm like, sick. Like now it's even better here. And then this
Yeah.
winter was like, this is the worst we've had in 10 years. And I was like, of course it is. The year I moved back.
The first couple times Elizabeth came um, with me for Christmas, it was like 60. I remember being in Sharon and she was like, "Oh, I want to go look at this river, that river that goes through Sharon." And it was just like so warm. It was like 60 degrees. And then, but also in the winter, Ohio all the leaves are gone, so it looks like shit. I was just like, because
Oh
Sharon
yeah,
is
it's
just like
disgusting.
Sharon looking in general, and she was like, "Oh, this is so nice," and I was like, "Oh, this is Sharon." It's like a brown river with some brown trees, but love the
Yeah.
enthusiasm.
Well, people who don't like the kind of old architecture around here, I guess if you've never seen that kind of shit before, it might look like a neat little town, but you're like, yeah, but there's nothing here.
Well, Warren, yeah, Warren is very, very cute. A lot of
Mm.
really cool buildings down there, and also like the apartments that are above some of the buildings. I had a friend that lived on the corner of right across the street from the courthouse. It's the one with like the big like stone turret.
Oh
That
yeah.
apartment was insane, and there like the stone turret was part of the apartment. We would sit in there and like chit chat. Like
Really? Who lived
that
there?
was my friend Kim. She lived there with yeah, her girlfriend at the time.
Okay. I
Crazy.
remember Aubrey had an apartment down there. I don't know which
Yes, yeah.
building it was in. I was in there a couple times and that was really cool. And then when I moved here, there was one available near the horseshoe, like above it. And it like had all glass windows in the front and it was just like a little bit more expensive than I wanted to pay. And it wasn't as nice as this place that I'm in. Like
Yeah.
it's all still carpet and stuff. And it was like a weird parking situation, but I was like, I would have loved to live down there and have that view.
That must be the so my brother lived above the horseshoe for years and they split it off and they made the front a pool hall and that must have been the unit in the back
Oh, it could have been.
because the
Yeah,
parking
I never
situation
went
was
up
better
there when
back
he
then.
lived there.
Yeah, weird. I feel like
Yeah.
that was a whole vibe. You were already in LA. You were already in LA though.
Oh, okay. Yeah. But it is a cute little downtown. We have that one block, and now there's like the coffee shop and the new bar that is like the same owners as the brewery. I always forget what it's called.
Oh. Oh, the
Modern
Darlene
Methods.
Lounge.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So it's like it's kind of coming up a little bit.
Yeah.
It's fun.
Um it's Adam, the owner of the brewery and Darlene Lounge really puts a lot of effort into um like making it vibrant, at least for his businesses that are there. It's very cute.
Yeah, I love Modern Methods. It's cool. I just wish they had food. I want to go eat there and like have a beer some nights and like,
Yeah,
and then there's
that
nowhere to
would
like really go eat next door.
that's why you go to Holiday Bar.
Yeah, exactly. And it's closer to home.
Yeah, of course.
Uh, but yeah, I'd like to like hear about because like the last time we hung out, you were kind of telling me how when you were in high school, you were going on tour. Uh, was it over in Germany, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And I was like, you never told me this, and you were like, I was embarrassed, and I was like, I would have thought that was so cool. So I realized I don't know a lot about your musical beginnings and how you kind of got started. So if you could kind of talk about that stuff and your family and everything.
Yeah, yeah. I have a couple musical beginnings, but I obviously played like all of our musical beginnings are probably in band in school. And I played clarinet, and then I also started playing clarinet in our German brass band down at the Saxon Club in Youngstown. But I also danced in the dance group, and I had danced in the dance group since I was like two. There's videos of me 2 years old dancing in the dance group. So I had already been doing that my whole life. Joined the brass band, so doing double duty. Um, and then when I was about 12 is when I realized that there are these tours that we go on. It's it's all through like the Alliance of Transylvanian Saxons is what the organization is. And basically it's these groups of people. There's us in Youngstown. There's a group in Cleveland. There's a group in Detroit, a group in Chicago, a group in Canada, in Kitchener, and a group in Elmer. That's what's left right now. There's Newcastle. There's a couple different ones. They're really small now because obviously people are not interested in their culture like maybe they used to be because we're so far removed from it. But
Mm.
I was 12, and then we went on our first tour, and we were in. I think we did either Austria or Germany, and I think we did Germany and Austria that trip. And so I'm just like 12 years old. They give you like a tour bus, like a band, like
That's
the way
crazy.
you think about like bands going on rock and roll tours. It is like this, but we're like a German dance group and band.
That's
Like
insane.
the whole bus is stocked with like Jaeger and all these German beers, and then also like my in my culture where we make our own schnapps. That is like it's like moonshine, but it's made from plums and it tastes crazy. But I remember like being 12 and just like having my first beer, for better or for worse.
Yeah,
But it was the wildest thing. And
that's
then that's
crazy.
kind of like good.
Oh, I was just gonna say, like, well, one, yeah, did they let you drink? So obviously they did.
So my mom wasn't going to let me drink, but my dance partner, who was my same age, his mom was letting him drink. And so my mom was like, okay, you can have a Radler, which is like half beer, half lemonade. And
Yeah,
obviously, like that progressed
I've
along
never
the
had
trip.
one of those. That sounds great, actually.
Yeah, I guess it's like a shandy.
So you're like a rock star on a tour bus, 12 years old, drinking a beer, like before any of us had ever done any. I didn't even hadn't even
Yeah.
picked up a guitar yet at that point, and that's why like this blew my mind when you told me that at the bar, and I was like, "What?" And you were like, "I was embarrassed." I'm like, "Why?" That's so fucking cool.
It was like definitely a time. There was a time, like obviously, I was spending a lot of time there. I think it wasn't until like 2006 when I went on another tour where I finally told like Nick and everybody, like, this is what I do. Because in high school, it was like, when I went on the trips, I definitely decided that I wanted to stay dedicated to this because of the people you meet and the relationships, and we're all the same culture, and it's very cool in that way, that it's like your extended family and they treat you like extended family. It's
Yeah,
kind of indescribable. So I was already like, okay, I'm doubling down on this. But then once you get to like high school, that is like not cool. Like my outfit that I have to wear looks like it's from, because it is from like centuries ago.
right.
And it's also hard because although you connect with so many of the people out there in Germany, Austria, Canada, whatever, at these events, there's nobody in high school that is doing the same thing that you're doing.
Yeah,
Um, but some, like, we had a big Greek community where there were people doing something similar,
yeah,
but not anybody that was doing exactly what I was doing. So although it was really cool, I was like every other year getting on a tour bus, touring Germany and Austria with my family and my friends and playing music and dancing. I just like kept it such a secret until probably until I graduated, and then I was like, okay, this is what I do. This is why I'm gone like in the summer for like 2 months at a time.
yeah. I get it. I get it. What kind of shows were you playing? Like, what were they like, or
Like
venues?
festivals, like beer festivals that you would see on TV,
Okay.
like where people are a bunch of German people around drinking beers at the table, standing on the tables. Yeah, it's a whole cultural events.
And how many of your family members were playing too?
Um, at any time, I would probably have like 5 to 6 actual family members of mine in there, but obviously, like my group is an extended family. Like I call many people like Uncle Mike, but they're not my like blood relative, but we're
Yeah.
so close. Um, but the group sometimes we'd have 40 people traveling together,
Wow.
which is a lot.
Did you have like the double decker tour bus, or did you have multiple buses?
I think I think we may have I think we kept it small enough that we only had one tour bus.
Well, that's crazy for 40 people though. Yeah.
A huge one, yeah.
I guess. Well, we had a tour bus one time, and it was in Europe, and it was the two-story one, and we had three bands and crew in there. So yeah, that makes sense.
These didn't have beds. That's the one thing. They didn't have beds, but they had the bathroom and
Oh,
the
okay.
refrigerators and stuff.
Did you? So you would stay in hotels, or?
So that's also interesting. Is a lot of these trips were cultural exchanges. So we would stay with other Saxons. So you
Oh,
basically at their club they would sign up to host a family, and then you get there, and then you go home with some random strangers. Um, which like is very cool when you like end up with somebody that has like a bowling alley in their basement, which has happened before, or even just like I my mom and I ended up with like a Saxon family that just came out of Romania probably in the 90s, and they were extremely um poor, but what the experience they gave us was so rich because they showed us videos of a real Saxon wedding, and they gave us like this ceramic thing that like my mom still has in her cabinet, but just like this beautiful ceramic plate. And we just sat up all night and talked. So of course, if you are on the trip and your main goal is to party, that is going to happen, but you may end up with a family that doesn't party, or that family wasn't friends with the other families, because
Mm.
sometimes the other families are friends, so they have a big gathering where you're all together again, but sometimes you're split off. And but there's always something to be learned in those situations too, because that was one of our favorite experiences.
Yeah. I mean, that's incredible to have those experiences when you're that young. Like, because
Yeah.
traveling of any kind at any age, I always feel like I come back and I'm like, oh, that was like this, it changes you. And you're like, you have all these different experiences, and all the touring I did with the bands that gave me the balls to move to California and go, I got to get out of here because I've seen a lot of shit and there's way better things to do in life than stay here the whole time. Now I
Yeah.
like it, but yeah, doing all that, like if I could have traveled even like that, I mean, I couldn't have imagined going anywhere when I was 12. My family was so boring. Like we're the most boring, like typical white bread Ohio, like no culture. Like so it's really cool that you had that with your family and like we're a part of something. And that also like it probably helps with like, I don't know, just camaraderie in general, learning how to work as a team, and being that young and being a part of something and performing that young too is so crazy. And
Yeah.
like
I
in front of
mean,
how many people would be at these festivals?
it would be anything from like, I mean, we played in a fest tent that had like probably 500 people, more than that.
Yeah.
Huge. To everything to that, to something like in a very small Saxon club where it's just the other band and the other dance group. Yeah.
Wow. I have a vague memory of being over there. I think it was during Oktoberfest, and we got to kind of go through one of those tents real quick and like have a beer. I don't remember being there long, or maybe we got drunk and I don't remember. But but I think we had a quick experience of that and it was super cool.
Yeah.
Uh so you played clarinet that whole time, like doing all that?
And then I switched to tuba. Yeah, then I switched to tuba.
Okay, yeah,
There-
you did tell me that.
Tubas are always needed.
Yeah. Tubas are cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, I get why you wouldn't tell people. I guess now, like thinking back to how kids are in high school, and you're like, I have to wear these clothes and I do this, and it's not like I'm playing rock and roll. So I kind of
Yeah.
understand that now. Yeah, but now I think it's way badass. Like being older, I was like,
Yeah.
oh, how could you never tell me that? So like,
And
when did
then
you? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
no, go ahead.
I was gonna say, like, when did you like first from that start to go? Maybe I want to try some other styles of music and like pick up guitar or drums, and like, how did you kind of get into that world?
Yeah. Um, my brother always had instruments around the house. There was drums, there was guitars, bass. I took guitar lessons when I was, I don't know, maybe like 12, 13. I did that for 2 years, but I didn't really stick with it. But and I would just basically I taught myself how to play drums. Just I would put on a Beatles record in the basement, like an actual record, because my parents like sound system that they had when they were like in college is down in the basement with all the records, and I put on a Beatles record because their early stuff is pretty easy to play on the drums, and I would practice. And then I had a talk boy. You remember the talk boy from Home Alone?
Yeah, I never got one, but I always wanted one.
My mom found it the other day, so we can all play with it next time.
Yes.
But I would pop a tape in there and then just like record me playing the drums to the Beatles. And then one day I'm like young. So I was like, oh, mom, let me show you this. And I popped it into her car like tape player. And I was like, that's me playing drums. And she was like, no way, that's you playing drums. And I was like, yeah. I'm like, well, it's playing and I'm playing the drums over it. And she was like super impressed. So, um, but even even though that was one of the only records that were down there, I think the first like actual rock and roll band that I was obsessed with was the Beatles, and I was very young, like 8 or 9 years
Mm.
old, and it was just like total total obsession. So
I
um
always remembered you being a big Beatles fan. Yeah.
yeah, I wore the t-shirts and everything to school. It's embarrassing now. Now it's embarrassing.
No, it's not. Uh, so would you say that they were probably like I always ask everybody, what was the pivotal like band or record or song that where you like realized I want to play drums or guitar? So would you say that was probably them for you?
Yeah, just because that is exactly how it happened. I wish it was like something different, but also like I was so little that it was like that was what, yeah, that was what was speaking to me.
Yeah. Were you more
Obviously,
drawn to drums or guitar?
uh, I feel like I liked them equally, and I can play them pretty equally, like skill wise. I always say I'm not great at any one of the instruments, but mediocre at all of them.
Yeah. Yeah, you play that because you play tuba, clarinet, guitar, bass, drums. That's great.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
like, so in you then in marching band in high school you played clarinet or was it tuba?
So I played. So in high school, I played. Well, there's a funny story in middle school because I always wanted to play the drums. Always, always, always. Like, because I was playing at home, and then the drum line, when you see it in the high school band, is so cool. And our band director fell off of her directing chair and was like out for the whole year.
Oh my
And so I
god.
decided being me, and this I can't believe even did this, but I lied and said I played drums. And so when we got the like substitute band teacher, I think I maybe even played Nick's drums because there was two different bands. And I don't know if like, so there was always drums on the shelf because there was two different bands. Um, and so I just pull out a random drum and put it on the thing and then just start playing as if I was a drummer. And then that went on for like months. And then the substitute teacher was like, "Hey, um I heard that you don't play drums." And I was like, "Yeah, I don't play drums." And she was like, I didn't get in trouble. She just said, "Well, you're going to have to go back to playing clarinet." And I was like, "Okay."
And it took her months to realize.
Yes, it took way too long because everybody thought it was really funny and nobody was going to give it up. Like, let's see how long then we can make this happen.
Right.
So that happened. And then in high school, I played just for 2 years. I played clarinet the first year, and then I played tuba the second year. Um, and then I quit so I could be the mascot.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. You were the mascot.
Yeah,
That's so
yeah,
fun.
yeah,
That I don't know if I when I started to first like realize I wanted to play music before I played guitar or anything, I tried the trumpet. I don't know if you remember this. I think it was in like ninth grade, and I tried out for the band, and then I decided to quit because I was like, "This is lame. I don't want to play the trumpet," and I quit. And
yeah.
then the band director like gave this big speech about quitters the day I quit, and I knew it was about me, and I was like so embarrassed and like mad at him for it. And like Laugesen came up and like told me he's like, "Yeah, he gave this big speech about like how quitters are losers and they're never going to make it in life," and I was like, "Damn it." But
They
then I
would
found
get
guitar
so
thanks to
pissed.
Huffman. Yeah, they're ruthless.
No, they would get so pissed when people quit. Um, but I feel like in high school also, I started just like kind of jamming with like Laugesen and Jamie Papademos, and
Mm.
then some other younger kids. I would play bass because you remember Sully? He had a cousin that went to war. I guess that was the Iraq War or something, and left his bass at Sully's house. And he was like, "Well, you can take it and play it while he's gone." Well, obviously he was gone for years. So I played it all of high school. So I learned how to play bass pretty easily because it's not that there isn't a technique to it, but
Yeah.
for the kind of music I was trying to play, um, it worked. And so he didn't come and pick that bass up until I think after I graduated. So I had that the whole time.
Wow.
Um, and then post high school, obviously that's when you guys were, doing your thing. But really, I never played in any bands in Ohio, but seeing what you guys did and touring and your music and everything inspired me to want to be in a band so badly. So when I finally moved to California years later, where it's a lot easier to actually find people that want to play the music that you want to play.
Right.
Um, I was in a band within like months of moving to California, and I really, you guys inspired me the whole
Aw.
time you guys were doing what you were doing.
Well, thank you. That's great to
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
Uh, and so, what did you when you moved out there? So how long after you graduated college did you move out there?
Uh, Probably like I graduated in 2009, and then I moved to San Francisco in 2010.
Okay. Yeah, like
So
that
it was,
whole period for me is like blurry because I was gone all the time. So I don't know like what the hell anyone was doing and I don't remember. But then,
yeah,
yeah, so if you moved to San Francisco in 2010, that's the same year I moved to LA, or I moved in 2009. So I moved right before that, the year you graduated.
yeah.
I forgot you were there like the same time, just up there the whole time, basically. Um,
Yeah, it came down a few times to we hung out a few times in the 2010s.
yeah.
If you remember, I just got a picture the other day that was like from 15 years ago of me and Zach and Talia at some kind of thing we were doing.
Yeah, I remember your birthday party at Chateau Marmont. That
Yes,
was
yeah.
super fun. And yeah, you did come down a couple times. Um, what was your first band up there and how did that
Oh my
start?
gosh. So funny. Um I was basically just like looking at Craigslist, looking for people that wanted to play music. There was a lot of that back then. Craigslist was like the place.
Yeah, I used to use it a lot.
And I saw a band that they said they were doing like soul music, like 60s influence, and it was all women. And I was like, that sounds very cool. Um, like I love soul and 60s pop and 60s rock. So I met up with them, and they were a band called Sunday's Best. Um, and their whole thing was like, let us come play in your kitchen. And it was cool. It was cool music. It was very simple. Definitely not my best playing, but it was a very cool band to kind of just like kick
Were you
off.
drums with them?
Yeah. And I was very nervous because again, I had never played in a band. I've only jammed with friends from high school.
Yeah.
But I was like, I can do this. I can do this. I know I can do this. So I did that. And then from there, I was looking on Craigslist again, because one of them moved away or whatever. And then I answered another Craigslist ad. I met up with this guy, uh, and we started a band called Big Drag, which was like very garage psychedelic, which was cool at the time. There's a big scene for that in San Francisco, and the person that I'm in a band with now, Margot, she also joined Big Drag. So we've been in bands together for like since like 15 years ago. So, but that
Oh
band
hell
was
yeah.
really cool. We recorded, we played a bunch of shows. We played shows with bands that I never dreamed I would play shows with. It was great. So that's kind of Big Drag was my first like real real band that I was like, okay, this is awesome. We're writing the music, we're recording, and I felt like I was actually doing the thing that I wanted to do. Um, and then, like anything, the personalities in the band really kind of got came to a head, and that band ended. And then I joined a band called Mammoth Life, which was like an indie pop band. It was very, very easy. And that's when I started playing bass in bands because I oh, because they already had a drummer. They were like, "We want you to try out for drums." And actually, the style of music that they were doing, I was like, "I don't know if this is the style for me." So when I did go to try out for them on drums, but I said, "You know, this was fine, but like, you don't have a bassist, and I think you need a bassist, and I can hear the parts already. Um, why let me be a bassist?" And so then they did, and that was the first time I was in a band playing bass. And now that I talk about it, it's like I did have to talk myself up because like this is the first time I'm doing this, and you don't really want to tell the other people that it's your first time doing this.
Yeah.
Um, but it worked out so well, and I like actually went on multiple cross country tours with that band, so
Nice.
it really worked out.
That was
And then
Mammoth
it
Life,
kind
you
of
said?
yeah, Mammoth Life. We had a
That's
song in a movie, so
nice. What movie?
I don't remember. One of the people from SNL made a movie, and then the song was in it.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and then
I
from there,
remember that
just
band
like
name. Yeah.
Mammoth Life. Yeah. Oh, because you
Yeah.
came and saw us at the Viper Room.
Oh my God,
Remember
I
when I
did.
didn't have my
Yes. Yeah.
ID?
Yep.
I almost got kicked out of that band for that night, but like there were other people doing worse things in that band than me. I'll tell you that.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you like. I'm honored, but also that you say like that us doing our thing made you, inspired to do that, and then you moved out there and you fucking did it, and you got to
Yeah,
do all that shit. Like touring the first time is like magical, and like
incredible.
uh, so when you moved to San Francisco, was like that the idea of like I'm going to go out there to play music? Did you have a job lined up, or was it just kind of going to fucking wing it? And
Well, this is where all the stories come together because I'm not going to say which company that I was hired on to, but I got hired to a tech company that hired me as their German music specialist.
oh no shit.
So I moved to California to work for this company to be their German music specialist. So
Why can't you say the name?
I would have to get permission, and
Oh, okay.
there's a whole thing that needs to happen before I can mention it. But I'm sure anybody could figure it out.
Gotcha. So then you moved to LA what year? That was
2020.
oh yeah. So after I had left in what 2017, and you've been there ever since.
Yep.
And then so how did Mirror of Venus come about?
Yeah. So I moved in the dead of COVID. It was April 1st, 2020. Um, and I mean, I knew I was moving, but I had also just had a back surgery. So I played like one last show with the band I was playing with in San Francisco called Pound Puppies. They were cool. Um, and then COVID happens. Obviously, nobody's playing anything. And I just moved to LA, and LA in that regard is very hard to get into like musically. Like I wasn't sure where I was going to find a practice space. I wasn't sure who to
Mhm.
even talk to because it just seemed like in San Francisco it was so easy because I just knew so many people that if somebody knew I had quit a band or that band was done, I would have another band in like 2 months.
Yeah.
So it was like very much. And here I was just like, how am I gonna navigate this? Because even if you do start a band, even just like getting shows here is probably, as you know, because you played in that What Say You band, right?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
hard to break into.
I just kind of like got how did so two of those dudes in the or wait, there's a guy named Dallas and this guy Eric who was the bass player for What Say You when we started, and they were both from Ohio. So we kind of had that connection.
Oh,
They
yeah.
they did like a rock and roll type band, kind of like Maylene, like heavy, kind of like Thunder Rider ish type stuff. When I first moved to LA, they were like, we're starting a band. I think I found them on Craigslist, which is crazy. Then we realized we're all from Ohio, and I tried out. They said, okay, you're in if you want to be in. And then I changed my mind and I was like, I just got out of music and I want to do something different. So I was like, I'm sorry, I'm like confused right now, and I ended up not doing it. So then I think that the Eric dude who played bass, they were starting What Say You, and then he remembered me, and that was like years later. And he's like, "Are you looking for a band now? Do you like want to come like play?" And then there's another guy from Ohio, Dom Devin, who is just the biggest sweetheart, and I love him to death. I haven't talked to him in a little while. Maybe like last year we caught up for a bit, but he became one of my best friends out there, and that band was fun. It was just like a little pop punk band, and we played Viper Room and the Roxy and like Chain Reaction and stuff. So it was a nice little
Chain
taste of that
reaction.
again.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah. But that I never expected to do that. And like I thought it could go pretty far because the singer was really good. It was really catchy. It was kind of his like brainchild. He named the band, he wrote the first couple songs on guitar and sang it and all that. And so that was a different style of music for me. So it was really nice, like kind of a breath of fresh air, but still
Yeah.
kind of heavy. We had our Day to Remember vibe a little bit.
Right. Yes. Yeah, of course.
Yeah, but yeah, I if it wasn't for them and just having that connection to the one dude, I wouldn't have known what to do in LA as far as music. I was completely outside of that. I only hung out with actors and club promoters and shit.
Right. And Craigslist, I mean, I can't believe that that's how I would get into a lot of the bands just starting out. Like nobody uses Craigslist anymore. I don't even know where you would go. Like there's nowhere to go to be like, "Hey, I'm doing this."
Yeah, what do you do? Like I feel like old because I'll still think of Craigslist sometimes when I like want to do something, or like I used to find clients on there for work for like
Right.
freelancing, and I would still think like, oh, I'm like low on work right now. Let me go to Craigslist, and it's just dead, or it's just
Yeah,
like scams and like telemarketing job shit. But yeah, I found a drummer on Craigslist. I think in Texas. He was the only guy I played with while I was there because I tried to start like a Thunder Rider 2.0 and
right.
played with him a couple times, but we didn't have a place to go and we had to rent out a spot hourly. So it means you're taking your
Oh
gear
wow,
every
yeah.
time.
Yep.
And
That's
so
annoying.
unless you're like on your shit where I told him, I was like, all right, I have 5 songs written. Can you at least learn 2 of them before we go play so we don't spend time like just going, okay, here's the next part. And then he didn't do that. And we played twice and I was like, I just can't like waste my time with this. And yeah, so
Yeah.
but it's funny. I didn't know what to do in Austin either, which is like fucking Music Central. It's like Nashville Junior. But I don't know. Yeah, I'm also
Nashville
very
Junior,
picky.
yeah.
I'm also very picky with who I want to play with because I've been so lucky to be with the guys I've been with, like Robinson, Fastwell. Everyone had their shit together. The fact that I was able to do 2 bands that were get on the road and not break up and stick together for years and do all the shit we
Yeah,
did.
because that's the worst part is when if the
Yeah,
interrelational issues that happen in a band, it's as intense as being in a relationship with somebody.
yeah, because you have to have however many people, 3, 4, 5 people that all have their shit together. You're all on the same wavelength. I think Nick said that when he was on here. Like, how crazy was it that we all came together, we were in that like fuck it, fuck everything else, let's go do this. And to find people who are all in that mindset at the same time, good enough at their instrument, want to play the same music, don't hate each other, aren't pieces of shit. Like there's so many boxes you have to check for each person to make it all work. So I've been
And
spoiled and
especially,
lucky, and I just can't
yeah,
put up with like horse shit with people. Like especially
no,
getting older, you're like, this is not worth it.
no, no. Luckily, well, so then that's where when I started my current band, it had been like a year into COVID, and I was just like, I cannot, like, you kind of forget, and you will know this, you kind of forget like how much it means to you until you stop doing it. And then
Mm-hmm.
you're like, it feels like a piece of you is missing.
Yep.
And the only way to get that back is to start another band and play shows.
Yes.
So COVID was hard, but then going back to the big drag days, my bandmate Margot was like, "Hey, I want to get a practice space." And I was like, "Oh, good, me too. Let's go in on it." Then from there, it's like I know we're not supposed to like be in the same room together, but like can we play? And then we just put masks on and we played, and then we got a bassist and we just started writing some songs. And then once we came out of COVID, we were kind of like ready to start playing shows. And so that's how Mirror Venus got together, and a few lineup changes since those early days. But it's been really great because the community for that kind of music in LA is thriving right now. So it's been
Mm.
nice. I didn't think I'd have another run at it at 40 years old.
Yeah.
But and then
Same
every
here.
time it happens, I'm like, oh, this is the last time. Better enjoy it.
Yeah.
Never gonna play
I,
shows again.
I feel like ready to put my boots in the ring. I'm done. And then like
Yeah.
something else always pulls me out of it. Um, and then yeah, this is the last thing I expected to be here doing this again. So I'm so thankful, especially for us, because like we ended on such a bad note and we get to like close it out this time how we want, you know?
I mean, it's incredible to watch. I'm getting chills just thinking about it right now. Like seeing you guys at Furnace Fest was like I couldn't have been like happier, prouder. I feel like I cried during the set. I was just like all the emotions because it was
Yeah.
just incredible. It was incredible. and it
I'm so
continues to
happy
be
you were
incredible.
there, like looking over at you guys on the side of the stage and like seeing you there and having Gladdy there to like, cause like this to her was all just this distant memory of like, yeah, 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 I know you used to do the band thing. I'm like, no, it was a real thing, you know, and not that she was dismissive of it at all, but it's like to have her see me at our best at this point in my
Yeah,
life and get to do it again and be like, this is what I did. This is where I belong. Like, this is what means everything to me. And that show was like our biggest show we ever played, and I felt more comfortable than I've ever felt on stage, which is shouldn't have been. I should have been way more nervous, but we had
yeah,
prepared so much, and I played by myself at home every fucking day, playing the set, playing the set. I just never felt more comfortable, and like it went off just perfectly, even with the technical difficulties they had with the stage. Like I didn't even care.
yeah.
It's so perfect. So just I could have been happy if we shut it down after that. Like
It was incredible, and I forget that like Gladdy and Sarah, like
yeah,
they
Sarah,
were not
same for her. She was never there
they were
either.
not
Yeah,
there
yeah.
for the beginnings. So it is like a story. So yeah, just incredible, and yeah, they were. I mean, Gladdy was just over the moon too. It was what an experience.
Yeah. I'm so super thankful, like very, very content right now with whatever we do till the end of things. Like, and then I know I'm already feeling it where once this is over, I'm going to be like, what's the next project, you know?
Yeah,
And I'll probably work on some more solo stuff, and anyone who wants to participate, like, cool. Like, I don't think I'm going to run out and try to start a band or anything, but now I'm like back into it. I'm like, I got to keep creating stuff. I got better at producing, and like now I'm producing our stuff. And so I'm like, okay, I can do a project start to finish at home. So I can make music forever and put it out, and it'll be like high quality, or at least quality that I'm happy with.
yeah. And I mean, it seems like you're the one controlling the like social media and everything, right?
Mm.
You got that down too.
Thank you.
I'm
Yeah,
always like, wow, what a cool video.
I could finally put all those years of social media work to use for something that's enjoyable to me.
Oh
It's been really fun. But yeah, so your band, where did the name Mirror Venus come from?
my gosh. I am so bad with band names. I just can't. Everything sounds lame to me. I just can't.
They're the
And
worst.
I'm trying to remember. Well, the Mirror of Venus is a painting by somebody. I'm pretty sure. Um, but we kind of needed something a little bit. I mean, our music is a little darker, like dreamy, post punk, shoegazy.
I really like it. I
Um,
listened to today earlier, and I watched the music
oh, awesome.
video. Yeah,
Oh,
it's really
awesome.
good. You guys have a really cool vibe. And I read your Bandcamp, and you had listed influences like 70s, 80s punk. But I honestly, I had no idea who they were. So I was like, I forget like what the bands were called. But I was like, this
Yeah,
is really,
yeah.
really sick. And you guys, like, you have a whole vibe going on. The visuals, everything was really cool. So I think you're killing it.
Yeah, it's been good. It's funny because a lot of bands that are in our genre don't have drummers, so I'm like the lone drummer with the lone drum set.
Or are they all just drum machine live on a
Yeah,
click?
they're just drum machines, but that's what makes it fun and different. I think drums just add a, even though sometimes I'm playing like it's a very simple drum machine esque beat. It's still the presence on stage. I think
Oh,
brings a
that
different
for
thing.
sure. The energy live with a real drummer is always going to be cooler. Like
Yeah.
I love when pop stars who don't need it will still have a full band behind them. It's just way cooler energy than just like a person up there with like a backing track.
Yes. Yeah. Always going to be, in my opinion. But a lot of people do not have drums, and then so if you're at a show, obviously you always plan to have everything you need, and I always do. But there's that thought in the back of your mind that like, oh, what if I forgot my clutch? Like obviously, this small you can't play the drums without this small little clutch on the hi hat. But what if I forgot it? It's not like I can go to the other band and be like, hey, can I borrow your clutch? You
Mm,
can't. So you just have to, I triple check everything to make sure that I have it because there's no borrowing from anybody
yeah.
because they aren't there.
I did a podcast last night with this guy Josh who had me on his. It's called Drive Safe Text Went Home. We were talking about drummers and recording to a click and playing live to a click. So I was wondering, you as a drummer, what are your thoughts on feel versus click? Do you record with it? Do you play with it live?
Ah, yes. So I am just I so funny that you mentioned this because next practice I am going to start practicing to a click because I have always played by feel, and then when we go in the studio it's like, oh, maybe we should play to a click track. And I think like most drummers, if you're not practiced with playing to the click track when you play to the click track in the
Yeah.
studio, it is jarring.
Yeah. You're getting
But I know it's the
forced
right thing to
this way
do.
and that way. Yeah.
Yes, I know it's the right thing to do. I just need to practice and just do it.
Yeah.
But
I
like,
think Nick is loving it now. He just started too.
did
Um,
he?
yeah, because
That's
he never
crazy.
did. It was always feel, and the old records weren't on a click, so we couldn't even play the old shit to a click live if we wanted. But conversations you could, and the new songs too. The two we did and Lois, they're all on a click.
Yeah.
So he started. I don't remember why he did it the first time, but he has like a little thing back there with him now in his headphones, and he started doing it. And I think we were like said one day, like this feels a little bit too slow, or this feels too fast. That breakdown, if you rush it, it feels doesn't have the same hit to it. So I think he has tried playing to a click. I might be completely wrong on this for the original reason, but he did it, and he was like, that felt really good. He's like the parts that I like when I'm blasting and I feel like I need to be really fast. I was rushing them before. So he's like, I actually feel
Yeah. Yeah.
relaxed where I thought I would be behind and vice versa. So now he's digging it. And to the songs that we can do it, he's been playing live to a click now and at practice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it really shows you too if like one of the songs we transitioned to a part and I didn't realize that I was slowing down, but it's more of a like it's like a lower key part than the part before. And so
Yeah.
then you put the click on and you're like, "Oh, I need to be playing it at this speed the whole way through." It
Yeah.
just
That's
changes
weird.
everything.
You
And
could
then
program your click to change tempos
yes,
if you, as long
yes.
as you stay on, you know.
Yeah. But it's like it's it's very hard when you are not practiced on it to just go into it and then you get frustrated. And then also maybe I'm playing to it, but like there's no soul in what I'm playing because I'm so worried about playing to the click that I'm not like just playing the drums like I usually play the drums.
Yeah. You got to go in practice to it. I can imagine.
Yeah.
As guitarists, we're lucky because we wait for you guys to go first, and then I don't have to worry about
Right.
it either way.
Of
So,
course, of course.
but yeah, I never ever played to a click, and I started doing it for practice a little bit. It is weird, like it's just you feel like pulled in a direction, or I'm probably doing the same thing on the scales and stuff. I feel like I'm playing not fast enough, and then I'm like, oh, I'm too fast. I'm rushing it. But our music is all just so much chaos anyway. It's like it's hard not to feel that way.
Sometimes when I'm playing live though, I'll be like, I feel like I'm dragging it slow. And then you go watch a video and you're like, oh, it was not slow at all.
Yeah. Adrenaline is a funny thing.
It is, it is, it is.
Where do you guys record at?
So we record at a place called the Cave Studios. Our friend Josiah does all of our stuff and he's cool. He's done stuff for like Jesus and Mary Chain, some stuff with Smashing Pumpkins, so he's really, really
Oh
good.
fuck yeah.
And we love him.
Yeah, your stuff
And it's
sounds
a
great.
yeah, it's pretty good. It's very small. But and he has really cool samples. Like he was working with Gary Newman from the 80s. He does the song Cars, like boop boo doo
Yeah.
in cars, doo doo
Yeah.
doo 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 doo. So he had like some samples because he was working with him, and then we'll just like do some weird stuff with like let's take this like Gary Newman like synth blast, and then we took like a China that he recorded from one I forget one of the really popular recording studios that like famous people record at. It was a China, and then we reversed it and then put it the other beat on the end. Like we'll just like create like
Oh, I love that.
little like samples like that.
I
It's
lo-
very
it
cool.
like little neat things like that. Like once you get the meat of the recording done, that's my favorite part, when it's like, okay,
Yeah.
how can we go in and like spice this up and throw a little sauce on it? And like,
Yeah.
we talked about this on that podcast last night too. When we were in the studio with Jocko for conversations, that was my first time in like a studio, staying there, doing it legit, like someone else paying for you to be here, and like you're
Yeah.
living there for 3 weeks, nothing else to do besides go downstairs every day and just work on music. I was like, I'm living my fucking dream right now. I'm poor as fuck and I'm not getting paid anything, but at least I'm here for free. And no matter whose turn it was, I was excited to go down there and watch and just sit there for the whole process and like take it all in and like watch everything Jocko did. And we would get to that point of like, okay, let's add a little third guitar layer here or something that's, just a little extra for the record to lift it. If you took it away, you would notice, but you really couldn't tell that it's there. So live, it doesn't really matter. But that was my favorite shit. And he had so many great ideas for that. Like, let's just do this harmony here, and you play this chord, and you could just strum it differently than how the actual riff goes. And it kind of just blends in. Just like I could do that shit all day. That's my favorite part. Yeah.
I came up there for that, remember?
Yes, you did. Yeah.
I just came across the photos, of that.
You have photos?
Yeah.
Oh, you gotta send those to me, because I have a handful. You might be in one of them, but they're all pixelated and they're like this small because of whatever camera I took them on, and I've saved them throughout hard drive to hard drive.
Remember, I had like a professional camera because I was like in school for photography, so I have like so many, but the lighting was so weird there that like only a few are any good. But just like to have that many, it was kind of crazy.
Yeah, I'd love to see them. That room with the table that we like ate dinner at and drank and sat there on that room is exactly the same as it was 15 years ago. It was same table, everything. Like he has changed. He changed the upstairs a little bit. Yeah, like just walking in there, like it felt just like it was in 2007 or whenever the hell we were there. Was that 2008? Yeah, I think January of 2008. But yeah, to just walk in there and be like, wow, it smells the same. It looks the same. Like he's done a lot of updates and it's really nice. Yeah. But he said he doesn't get a lot of business for people in there like the old days with him at the helm, like handling it, because everyone's doing shit at home and they'll send it to him. So most of his work he can do at home because he's mixing. So that beautiful studio just goes unused a lot of the time, which just sucks. It is nice. Yeah, it is nice having like technology these days. Like we can do our whole record in my office where I'm sitting right now if we want, but there's something to that, and like getting to go to a place and having the experience, and like you only have so much time, so you can't just sit there and work something to death, which I think is a negative, 'cause I could sit here and work on a riff for hours and hours and try to perfect it, and it's like then you think too much and do too much.
And if it's too casual, I feel like there's not a lot of motivation for everybody to be there at once. Like nobody's going to sit there and watch you do your part when they have nothing to do with it. And that's why I always want to be there for everything from the start to the finish.
Yeah.
Even though I don't need to be because I'm the first one that goes, but I
love the whole process. Yeah.
Yeah. And especially when you get to the end where you're doing all these little things, and because like you get too far into making these little frills, it can start to feel like really cheesy. So you need multiple people to be like, is this crazy? Like, have we gone down a wormhole of like adding layers, or is this cool? Yeah.
Cause you also want it to be able to come across live the same, or at least close to it, without having the need for backing tracks and all the shit to fill in all the stuff you added. Yeah. What is your like writing process like?
We kind of, everything that we've written for Mirror Venus has started as just a jam at practice. Except I think Joy worked on 2 songs separately and then brought it to us, and then we built it out. But it's usually we just wrote a new song. And it was just a jam that was worked out at practice, and then we just kind of develop it and see where it goes. Mm-hmm. Which is like not I don't think that's too common. These days I feel like people are writing on their own, and then
we're doing that kind of out of necessity, because like I wish to God we could be in that room like we used to all the time, and like no one had any responsibilities. We could be like, you want us to go out and write? All right. So I do a lot of writing on my own and then bring it to the guys and we work it out together. Nick has like a whole song in his head he's been working on. So we're starting to kind of like lay that out. And then like we'll have one more after that to finish the EP that would be from scratch. We don't have anything yet, but we were aiming for 5 on this new one, including Lowest. But yeah, I just finished a whole like Bones for a third one. So I'm really excited. Awesome. It's probably my favorite Fastwell song I've ever written. So I can't wait for that. Oh my
gosh. See, I feel like you guys, although, maybe your first run was the top of your game, but you guys, I feel like, sound better than ever, in my opinion.
Thank you. I agree. We're doing everything right this time. We have the right guitars for our tuning rather than forcing a guitar made for standard to be in drop A. And Nick knows more about drums and snares and everything than he ever has. We're treating our gear better. We know more. We have better, like just everything, the technicals, and our skills, where everyone's practicing at home. Like no one used to practice their instrument. We just played the songs and go on tour. And that was practice, because 3 weeks on a tour, you're fucking better than ever. You're just so locked in. Yeah. But everyone's put in the time, and I think our writing is matured. Like I think if we were touring and I wish we could play more shows, because I do feel like we are better than before. But just in general, the whole thing I think has been done better. Just treating it as a business and making smarter decisions. And it is nice to only do what we want to do instead of like a crappy tour. Like we have to do it. But
right.
Yeah, I wish we could showcase all this work more and do more shows than we can, but it's just not possible with everyone's lives.
Yeah. We are also very selective about the shows we pick to play. I used to come from just play every show we can, or like, we're never going to get asked to get it. Just like, that's not true. And you don't need to play every show. But if you do play every show, you do get some cash, and you're able to have more recording money.
It's nice as long as you're breaking even or better, and you can continue going. If it's not your main career choice, like that's nice to not have to lose money and spend your own money all the time. And are all you guys based in LA or?
Yeah. That's nice.
The
east and west side of LA could be different planets, but
True.
I'm the only one that has to make the really shitty drive out to the east side for practice. But
yeah, where do you guys practice there? We had one in the Valley, a little place we rented, but
yeah, it's in Cypress Park, like kind of by Dodger Stadium, and it's actually kind of nice compared to some places that I've had before.
The places that you don't want to leave your gear.
Exactly. No, this is not that at all. It's nice. It has like a deck on the front of it, and you can just sit there and chill. And if you do smoke cigarettes, smoke cigarettes. I miss cigarettes. It's a nice little place.
We're
cool. Lucky. Yeah.
Do you have any shows coming up? Or are you planning on touring, or like what's everyone's lives like to be able to do that?
We just played a show like a week ago, which was cool. It was at this place called Genghis Cohen. It's like a music venue, Chinese restaurant, which at first I was like, I'm not playing at a Chinese restaurant. But then they were like, no, it's actually cool. And I was like, okay. But then they announced they're closing like right after that. So end of an era for Genghis Cohen, which sucks. They've been there forever. And then we're going to focus. I literally just got a text message on my computer here that we're finalizing the dates to record some more, because that's been really hard, is just nailing down the rest of this album. We have a small label that wants to put it out. We just got to get it together. But also our guitarist. Yeah. Our guitarist is like,
oh, sorry. Go ahead. Sometimes a delay on here. You like wait and then you start talking.
That's
your guitarist
okay.
What?
She plays in another band.
Oh.
So like, she's like the guitarist for another person's band. So she's like they've been on tour in Europe for like months at a time, weeks at a time, seemed like a month. So not that it's her fault. We all have schedules, but but we're both on the same like label. So it's kind of like, hopefully, whatever happens, maybe she meets people to connect with so that we can go on tour someday. So nice. It all works out.
That would be fun. So you guys have you had like 2 singles, and then you did an EP where there's remixes of the singles?
Yes.
right? I was looking on
That's
my
big.
Apple
Big in
Music.
the scene is the remix, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, for your style, for sure.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
so you guys are working on like a full length to put out, or
Yep. Yeah. We have, I think, 4 or 5 of the songs already recorded. We got to record the rest. I'm hoping we hit like at least 10 tracks. We're
I
supposed to
love
put out
doing
a
the full
vinyl.
album.
Yeah.
Like I don't feel right doing under 8 songs.
No, no, not
I
for,
still love
yeah.
a good EP, but yeah, like I love doing like a whole piece. Like this is where I was at in that time of my life, and it's always has a certain feel and like certain sound to it. And it's like I love doing a whole piece that's like a themed about something. Uh, I don't know, but we're
And if
forced
you're
to do singles and whatever now because of schedules. But
also, but that's like the way that people put things out now. It's like singles, singles, singles.
yeah, I don't
It's
want to
like a
do what
cycle.
anyone does now because we're not trying to make it. So it's like we could still do
Right,
whatever we
right, right,
want.
right, right, right.
But I am stoked that we at least to get really we get to put out the 5 song EP. So that'll be cool. It'll probably be our final release and be like a nice farewell.
Final release. Nobody wants to hear that.
Yeah, but
We're not dead
I
yet.
no, I mean final release for from a second story window probably unless something changes. But we're
I
all kind
see.
of thinking that this year would probably be the last year of the reunion run. You know, it's a lot to put together, and like we don't have a show right now until August, so Nick has to keep practicing and keep up his speed and stamina all these
Oh
months
my
just to
God.
play,
Yeah.
you know. And then he's managing starting a business and his kids baseball schedule, and you know it's a lot.
Yeah.
And I'm the only one that's just like, well, I can do whatever the fuck I want. So I have
Yeah.
no problem like taking on all the extra work and the social media and stuff because I have the time for it. But sometimes even for me, I'm like balancing that and then doing my own stuff now. I'm trying to do more stuff for my channel and the podcast every week. Like this takes up probably 10 hours out of my week with all the editing, the social
Oh
media,
yeah.
the clips. I make graphics for everything. And I'm trying to do it really nice and professional because I want to eventually like make some money off it to make, you know, monetize it on YouTube and whatever. Um, but I do love it. It's just, I
I
understand
love
why
it too. I think
people
it's
hire.
great.
Thank you. I never thought I would have one, but then it also makes sense why I should because I love podcasts. It's all I listen to all the time.
Yeah.
Like I go to
It does,
bed
and
to
it
it,
also
it's on in
does
the
look really
background. Like,
professional. I'm always like impressed with like your setup.
thank you. It's
Yeah.
yeah, it's been a learning process because I had no clue what to even do when I started. I was like, I don't even know where to record. Like, what do I do? Do I use Zoom or something? Like, so I found this thing which has been great. Keeps all your clips, you know, on their servers online, so I don't have to have these giant files that are just saved to my computer. You can
Yeah.
edit everything on there, and then I will do editing in like CapCut and make the clips and stuff. And then every time I try to improve a little thing, and I'm getting better at using like B-roll over like putting performances in the clips and stuff. It's been really fun. It's just like, yeah, I spend all this time on it. I'm like, I hope that eventually I can make some money because I can't do this forever for free because it takes up so much of my week, no matter how much I love it. But I'll get there.
Yeah. Well, hopefully you get to that point. It seems like a lot of work. It definitely seems like there's a lot of work and a lot of love going into it.
Oh, there is. And I just hear like stories from like people who have podcasts or other people who know someone who has a podcast and like the kind of money they're making from sponsors and stuff. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Like
Yeah. It's
that could
wild.
be my only job. And they're podcasts you wouldn't expect either that aren't like massive. I'm like, wow, okay. So there is like a way to, you know, make at least a partial living off of it.
Yeah. Hopefully.
Yeah.
I know I wouldn't have time for it, but I made time to be on your podcast. That's all I need.
Well, thank you very much. Yeah, I think a big reason I wanted to do it, no matter what, and was willing to go like put in all that extra stuff is like I wanted to like give back my own way to the podcast community because I like enjoy them so much. They're relaxing to me, even if I'm not really paying attention. I kind of always have one on, and I'm like I would like to provide that from my worlds for other people who just like they're at work and maybe they're half paying attention, but it's just something to get you through whatever when you're on your drive or whatever. Like
I
I
can't
think they're
sleep
great.
without a podcast on. I
Yeah,
now
me either.
I
That or
have a
rain.
special like headband that has headphones that go flat against my head, so when I sleep on my pillow, I can still hear it. And I'm addicted to it, and I can't sleep unless I'm listening to a podcast. So I'm
Me
there.
either. I have to have something on. I've been doing thunderstorms sometimes. But yeah,
Not
hearing
as
people
interesting as a
talk.
podcast.
No, but then if I'm into the podcast, I can't go to sleep because I'm listening and I'm going, ooh, what are they talking about? So it's got to be something I don't care about, but people's voices. I one night I was searching on YouTube. You can actually listen to, it's like gibberish, but soothing to put you to sleep for that specific reason where you won't know what they're saying. It's just a guy going like,
Oh, yes, yes.
and it's like you're listening to a conversation, but they're saying nothing. And I was like, this is the dumbest fucking thing I've ever done. But it worked, and I just fell asleep because there's nothing to pay attention to.
No, I need the goriest true crime story.
Oh
Everybody thinks I'm a
boy,
psycho for
you're like
doing it,
Gladdy,
but
yeah.
yeah, what can you do?
Uh,
You love what you love.
that's true. Whatever makes you happy. So when do you think this record may be done or being released?
Oh my God, with our schedules, I hope I hope fall if we can get it together. They just sent over some dates. Hopefully we can just bang it out.
Yeah, by fall. Well, I
Yeah.
look forward to hearing it.
Yeah.
Uh,
I look forward to hearing it too because I can't believe that it'll actually be done.
fuck yeah, that's the best. Is like that first time when you put in all that work and you're imagining what it could be, and you finally get to hear it all come together, and then it's like it's finished. You can go and just listen to it and be proud of it. That's the best feeling in the world.
I feel like I take that opportunity to nitpick everything. But I know in my mind that it's good and it's done. And then I'll just sit there and be like, oh, I should
Yeah,
have done this.
I definitely go through a nitpicking phase where it's like this should have been that, but then I get over it and I accept it for what it is, and I still
Yeah.
love it.
Yes.
As long as you gave it 100%, like
Yes.
there's always going to be that thing, and that usually comes from playing live. You'll play live, 10 times, and then you figure out the fill you should have did there that was better.
Yep.
That's kind of
Yeah.
unavoidable, though. It just always happens.
That's why I don't like taking new songs to the studio. Um, I like to play them out a little bit before recording them just because that getting to know the song better, you will do different things.
Yeah, absolutely. And it
Then
can
once
only
you
happen
record
for
it.
some reason in a live environment. It's like, why don't those ideas come from practice? Like,
Yeah.
it always happens like, oh, we played this song finally for a whole tour, and I have all these better ideas of how we could have done this or that.
Yeah.
Something about that energy.
Because you're almost not you're not thinking usually I'm not thinking as hard about it as anymore, and I'm because when you're playing live you can't sit and think about your parts too hard or you're going to screw them up.
Yeah.
So it's more of a feel thing because I've shut off the feelings up here to do what I'm doing here, and then it's just like something that I feel sometimes like, oh, I'll put this in, and it's like it just happened.
Yeah. You're living in the moment there instead of
Yeah.
thinking.
Yes.
Yeah. That's the worst is when you feel unprepared for a show and you're thinking about your parts or what comes next. And I hate that. So I always over prepare. Then you can enjoy it better. It's just unenjoyable to play live if you're feeling comfortable.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I if one of my bands they were obsessed with just like, oh, we wrote this today, let's go play it, and I'd be like, I guess if it's a joke, but that's
Yeah.
too much.
It's one thing if like the singer will tell the crowd, we just wrote this, we might fuck it up,
Yes.
but let's have some fun.
Yes. Yes. But to
You
take
got
it
to
and
say
be like,
that.
you have to.
This is our new song. It's really good. Yeah.
And that's
Yeah.
where kind of like we disagreed there. I'm like, no, you have to say it's new, or they're gonna be like, they fucked this song up.
Yeah. Then you just look stupid. But if you tell them ahead of time, then they're laughing with you and enjoying it. And it makes you more real to them too. Like it's cool.
Exactly. Glad we're gonna our band when we finally create it is gonna be so good. We're gonna play new songs and they're gonna be all jokes.
Fuck yeah. I'm
Every
down.
song is gonna be this is our new song, and then we'll fuck it up every time.
That would be funny for a band that sucks. Just every song, like this is a new one, so we might fuck it up. Before we go, I'd like to hear a little bit about what you do for work because I know you have a really cool job, and I don't know exactly what you do.
Yeah, I'm really lucky that I do get to work in the music business. Like I said earlier, I got my job because I was a German music expert, which is crazy because you go to college to do the things that you want to do. Um, and although German music has been a huge part of my life all my life, I didn't think it was going to get me a job where I work, which is at a tech company. And I guess I worked really hard, and I went from being the German music specialist to getting to work on the Super Bowl halftime show. So that's a big jump. Really lucky, and yeah, I get to work on a lot of really cool live events and concerts, and it's a dream come true. I never thought that I would have a job in the music business, but here we are.
All right. So before we go, I had some fun questions for you, kind of like a little rapid fire thing. You'll be my guinea pig with
Cool.
this. So, like we talked about earlier, you've always been a big fan of the Beatles. Worst Beatles record?
Um, Yellow Submarine.
Favorite place to eat in LA?
Oh my God. Oh my God. I feel like I don't go anywhere anymore. Um,
That was
okay,
always me if you
favorite.
asked me when I lived there.
Yeah, favorite place to eat in LA. Ah, God. Well, I mean, this restaurant is right down the street from my house, and I also got it catered for my 40th birthday party. It's not fancy, but it's very good. It's called Mise la La.
Mislala?
But
What
I
kind of
get it a
food?
lot. I like it enough to have it catered at my birthday party. So there you
Well,
go.
there you go.
It's Mediterranean food, yeah.
That means it's good then. I've never had a catered birthday party. I don't know what I would choose.
So they're one of the only places that will serve you schnitzel and falafel. So I mean, that's a no-brainer.
Oh, well, fuck yeah. All
Yeah,
right. Regular or sweet potato fries?
regular fries.
Harry Potter or Lord of the Rings?
Lord of the Rings.
Good answer.
I never got into Harry Potter. It seems like stuff for children.
Me either. The people be like, you can't compare them. They're different. I'm like, okay, that's fine. But then why do
I
they
mean,
get
they are,
compared all
but
the time?
clearly one is more epic. So,
Name a song that makes you feel like you're floating.
um, Aquarius by the Fifth Dimension.
Okay. I don't know that one offhand.
It's
I'll
a
say that.
song from the 70s.
All right. I'll add that to my list. I always add songs that people. Aquarius, Fifth Dimension. Okay. Here's a big one. Does pineapple belong on pizza?
I mean, I don't think it belongs, but I will eat it if it's there.
Okay. I'm anti.
I mean, I wouldn't order it that way, but if like I came to your house and that's the only pizza you ordered and you were like, "Hey, I ordered pizza," I would eat it and not say
Yeah.
anything.
It's a heated debate. We
I
get in
know, I know.
we get in
I
fights in my
know.
group chat about it. I'm the only one. Everyone's like pineapple on pizza. I'm like, that's treason.
I feel like yeah, I mean, it's too sweet. I don't.
It it is. Your pizza should be savory.
I'm so polite though that I'll eat it anyways.
Yeah, I'm like, just say you hate it. It's fine. All right. Least favorite from a second story window song.
Oh my gosh.
I'm just
Let's
putting you on the spot.
see. No, let's I did think about this. I'm getting the track lists up right now. Um, let's see.
It'd be funny
It's
if you said the same
definitely
one as mine.
it's definitely something on Conversations.
With the acoustic song?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
That one's up there for me. We never should have did that. Mine is Ghost Over Japan.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't like it.
Oh.
It just feels like cheese dick to me. But
Uh,
I wasn't a part of that record though.
I could see that. I feel like my favorite is probably, and I know you probably don't want to hear this either, The Challenge of Caring. Just because
Ooh,
like when that track opens up, I feel like like I'm alive, like I'm
Oh
ready.
yeah.
I'm like, let's
No, I
fucking
get
do
it.
this.
That's one of my favorites to play live for sure. Because it's really easy on guitar. It's just so fun and chaotic. Like I absolutely love that song. So that's a good one.
As an opening track, it's amazing, but also as something that you play in the middle of the set, I still get that same like, let's fucking go.
Yeah. It is weird because we always feel like we want to open with it because it's such a perfect opener. It's the first
Yeah,
song that anyone's ever heard from the band, but it's like we can't play it the same set every time. So then we put it in the
yeah,
middle.
that's
It
true.
does feel a little weird, but the energy is just always there. It's great.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. And lastly, I'm going to start something with the podcast where every episode I ask a guest to recommend a song for a Riff Tacos Spotify playlist that I'm going to start. So there'll be a long list eventually of all these cool different songs, different genres. Just a neat thing to do. So if you have a
So it
song
can
you'd
be
like to
any
recommend,
genre.
yeah, anything you want.
Okay, great. Because my favorite band is a band called Always with two V's instead of a W. And let's see what song. Um, I think In Undertow by Always.
In Undertow. I've never heard them.
Oh my gosh, I love them. They're like, it's kind of like surfy, psychedelic, but also has elements of post-punk, pretty much elements of every single genre that I love, and like a lot of really cool synths. Um,
Perfect.
yeah,
I'm going to check that out too. Have you ever heard of Basement?
Basement.
They somehow snuck by me all these years. I think their first record came out in 2011, but it is so good. It has like a 90s kind of alternative rock, cave-in, Deftones vibe. I think you'd really like them.
Oh, oh, I see them.
Yeah.
Let's see
I
if they
used
put
one of their
out.
songs on one of my recent Instagram posts. Which one was it? It would be a good first one to check out. I think it was called Hole. Yeah, Hole. It's like the third song on Apple Music.
I'll have to check that out.
But yeah, so there's my recommendation for you.
Great. I will do my homework, and then we can talk about it at the holiday bar when I'm home.
Yeah, when are you home next?
Uh, July. July.
Okay, glad he's coming in July. Hopefully it's the same time.
Oh my gosh, is it after 4th of July?
Yeah, she's not coming for the 4th, so it'll be sometime later.
Yep. I'll be there the week after 4th of July.
Okay, I'll tell her that. Maybe she'll book it. We were just talking about it today. She's like, when should I come? Because she has plans for the 4th there to do like a 5K or something. I'm like, what? I was like, she's like, I can come the day after. I'm like, well, if you're going to miss the 4th, there's no point in coming. Just come another weekend. But I want her to experience Ohio's summer weather because Texas is so disgusting. I'm like, I want you to see it when it's beautiful here because she always comes when
Yeah.
it's gross. So
And we can
that'll
go
be
to the
fun.
lake house.
Yes. Yeah. I want her to go to Geneva and see it. Like
Oh
she's
my
never seen,
gosh. That would
she
be
would
so
love it.
fun if
Yeah.
we
So
all went to Geneva together.
I'll see if she wants to come that next weekend then. That'll be cool.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much for doing this. It's been a
Thank you
blast.
for
I don't get to
having
talk
me.
to you enough. Of course.
I know, but
Anytime.
we'll make up for it in July.
Yeah. I'll see you soon. So
Cool.
thank you. And thank you
Yep.
everybody for listening. Remember to like the episode, leave a comment, share it with a friend, and please leave a rating because that would help me out a lot. And be sure to check out Heidi's band, Mirror of Venus. You can follow her on Instagram at just Heidi Weber. And her band is Mirror of Venus with underscores between. Oh, and one on the end. And thanks for listening. We'll see you on the next one.